He's minimalist. He's into productivity.
Yeah, but imagine 8 in the morning, he wakes up, mobile open, email from Rahi. He's like, wow, childhood friend, music partner, so many songs.
Abusing him right in the morning.
He opens email and abuse after abuse. English, Bangla, Hindi, Bhojpuri, dangerous. Uriya, dangerous abuse.
Where is Uriya coming from?
Rahi suddenly sent me an abusive email in multiple languages in 8 a.m. in the morning after 8 years. Why would you do that? That's what you do.
This is going to be the intro. This is going to be the intro. I'm going to keep this in intro before our episode.
Before you cap up, I have a question for both of you. What exactly is music to you? Right.
Catharsis. Music is catharsis because
music was the biggest. It gave me the biggest company in the world, which is you guys.
Same.
This is Future Sound Media with Rahi, the OG of all podcasts in the house. Available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, all socials at the rate of Future Sound Media. All episodes are available on futuresoundmedia.com. Let's begin.
Hi guys, welcome to Future Sound Media. Today we have one of our first virtual episodes that we have started, and we do have two very special guests today with me. Let me introduce them first. Let me kind of bring them to the screen. Okay, let's put this. Okay, I think everyone's visible. So I have Mantyn on my left side. Okay, left side is Mantyn, and below is DJ, that is Debashish Banerjee. So before we proceed, this is a very special episode. Why special episode? As I said, this is a special episode, first of all, regarding the format. Secondly, I think some of you folks who already most probably have an idea regarding the kind of music that, or the kind of media I have been part of, who these folks are, who know about it, that's great. And the folks who don't know about it, you are in for quite a surprise. However, I'm not going to extend this introduction, so I'll ask these folks only to introduce themselves. So who wants to go first? Mantyn, DJ?
I think Mantyn, you should introduce yourself.
Yeah, Mantyn, please go ahead. Hi.
So, who am I? I am, as the name he said, we have been, this history goes back, 2023, right? So 20 years almost. Okay. So, I happened to be wandering in the streets of Paliganj one time, and I saw Rahi walking, very angry man, with a heavy guitar. I thought this is me introducing myself. Who was I, or who am I? I thought this guy is some punch, guitarist, top class guitarist, and I was looking to form a band. Now, the amount of drums I was playing was basically a lot only in words, and DJ was Debashish was the guy who was basically backing for it. So I was an air drummer, as in he was the one who was supposed to bring the drums for me, and I could not play drums. And I was saying, if I am this guy from this band called Rasmus at that point of time. So I was like top drummer of that band. And in my back of the mind, I had like, okay, I don't have a drum, but I'm a top drummer. So the guy who's going to bring the drum for me is standing behind me. Right? So that was me. And then I saw Rahi walk down the street. I'm like, okay, I don't have a drum, but I see this guy walking with a guitar, which means we can form a band. So that was me, who was a wanderer then. I'm still a wanderer now. And so and then our musical journey started, and eventually I got a drum that DJ bought with a lot of struggle. That's a different story. But then eventually Uniqx happened, and a lot happened in our lives over those years. A lot of learning curve. Many people still know me as a musician. a lot of them still know me. Even in the hacker community, the CTF community, many people still know me as a musician. Due to that day, due to those days, right? Anyways, other than that, I'm right now. What am I? I have a PhD degree in computer security, computer science. I happen to be a research scientist. Research scientist. Yes, I research on computer security problems and try to come up with solutions. Yeah, so that's professional life. But other than that, that's the whole backstory.
Great. Thanks for that intro, Mantyn. We'll get back to more interesting stuff from you. Yeah, Debashish, please go ahead.
Basically, I will pick up from where Mantyn started, and I will cut away a little away from the middle. Yes, we were like, he was an enthusiastic person. He has great music sense. Glad one of our common friends said kudos to you who introduced us together. So picking up from that point of time, yes, I wanted to be a musician, so I went to be a musician. I pursued my musical journey along with both these two gentlemen today. I can proudly say they have both established themselves quite a lot in their life, and I'm really happy to be a part of your journey, Rahi, as well as Mantyn. And apart from that, yes, personal life, we'll be digging into it later on. Professionally, I'm working for one of the PSUs of our country, and I am currently heading the cyber fraud domain of that particular institution. For obvious reason, I'm not going to name the organization, but yes, in unconnectionally way, I mean, like it's a very starking way, like we are still related to each other in fields we were never, imagining ourselves down that time in point. Like when we started our musical journey, I never thought I will be anybody apart from David Gilmour. I never saw myself anywhere more than a guitar player or a music composer. I always wanted to be that. But yes, as Mantyn said, today professionally he is working for one of the most renowned companies and in a field where many people struggle and our country is really needing people like him. So I'm somehow related to you. Like, you are like the back end and I'm like the front end in our professional domain. You are what protects us and I am what I'm trying to carry on that thing so that the end users get protected. So we are still related, like the relative notes of a scale. So that's about who we are, and no introduction needed for Rahi. Let me introduce Rahi to all. I don't
Okay.
know how much of Rahi is known to a lot of Rahi's audience and lovers and fans and followers, especially the haters. Rahi Chakraborty can have a lot of talent. He can have a lot of character for all. But for me, personally speaking, Rai is still that guy who speaks from heart, writes songs which are like it'll touch your heart. Even if he is not singing them, even if he reads out like poetry, it will touch you. He's got a melodious voice, one of the greatest voice I will say that I have heard in our country. I'm not comparing it with any known, unknown, renowned or Badnaam artist, but he is definitely up there for me. So yes, I don't really consider me as an individual. It's us. So if we are happy about ourselves, I'm happy.
Oh, wow. You know, I don't know if I'm like I will be able to do justice to that, but thanks a lot. Kind of. So
Justice
yeah,
is there to be honest. We just think,
so I'm more into now into more into media, and let's see. You know, we'll talk. We'll get into those kind of stuff. So first of all, like how long it has been. We three have. I think when was the last time we three sat down and talk? This is we talked on
I
huh
think Bhutan. I think our Bhutan
Bhutan.
trip.
Ha, 2012.
Bhutan trip was on which year? 2000.
12 August.
13, I think.
Huh?
13 I was in US. 12 August.
12th August. Yes. 12th August.
12th August in 2013. 2013 नहीं हो सकता
2012.
2012 2012 because I know for a reason it's not in 2013 it's 2012 I'm tracking it back. Okay, so it's right now we are in 2023. So I have met Mantyn has come to my place and in between I had also met Debashish, but together I think we have been on a conference call. We have discussed in the middle. We
Come
have kept in
next
touch.
weekend. Come next weekend. Yeah.
See, that is obviously the see. We'll come to that. We'll take that offline. We'll have a talk on that. But the idea is that after a long time, I think almost, and this happens in our show, which I've noticed, which is a very good thing. That's the reason I do this. One of the reasons I do this is because of these things. Because I think after 13 years in that case, 12 to 13 years, right? No, 10 years. 10 to 11 years. After 10 to 11 years, we are in the same virtual room, virtual rectors, because everything has gone virtual. So today is, as I said, we are starting with a virtual set, and I think this was the best folks I could start with. We were in conversation for a long time to kind of do this. Dates were we were rescheduling, and that was happening. We have got a lot of questions and everything that is there, but I want to start with the music part. And since obviously for the folks who did not know, we were in obviously band together, and then obviously for our own pursuits we went our own ways, but we have been in touch, and we have been very friendly, just kind of quote unquote, thankfully. So let's start regarding music, because that is something which bounded each of us, right? So I would this is how I want to go, because I have got two folks I'm interviewing on the show. So I would put up the question, and anyone can pick it up. Does that work? Yes, no, maybe.
That's fine.
Fair enough, right? Fair enough, right? So I wanted to ask you folks, how did your music start? Who wants to pick it up?
How did the music start? I
Yeah.
think Mantyn, your music started before me. So you take the lead.
So it's not that way actually, because so let's see. Music, obviously, in my locality where I was living, Behala, at that point of time, there was a growing scene of music. Fossils was coming up. Fossils was coming up, and then Cactus, everything. Bangla band was happening at that point of time. So there was this motion. Everybody, and I was to be this guy who wanted to set himself apart by doing something. One way was to be the rebel. And how do you express being a rebel at that point of time? Rock music. It was spreading on rock. Listen to rock. This gives you this, the crunch thing, the aggression. Another big reason was WWF. WWF was so much into us that we used to like the time to play the game. That was Triple H. Sure, why not? But
I was
that
actually sorry to interrupt. I was actually listening. I still listen to that shit, man. Good,
every
good,
day,
good. Please
every
continue.
day,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Like every day during my work hours, every time I listen to but
Hmm.
no, none of us were aware that it was a Lemmy thing at that point of time, right? We never knew that.
Hmm.
In fact, there was a WrestleMania where Triple H bought in Lemmy, but even then we didn't know that it was Lemmy, right? But somehow those for some people like us, those music things, right? That the Triple H's entry song, Stone Cold's entry song, which was disturbed by the way, those things kind of stuck to our ears. That's what brought that that fighter out of us. So then along the way, I wanted to be a school guy. Everybody wants to be a school guy. And then I saw DJ. I was playing football. I used to play football as well. So one day we went to his roof, and then one of my friends took him. He said, "This guy also plays guitar." I said, "Oh, this guy plays guitar." So I went up there, and the first thing DJ played was that elephant thing. That when an elephant walks out of circus, dang, 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 and that's about it. That's, that's what he could play. Now I know that okay, this guy is playing a guitar. That's all for me. I don't care what he plays, because I am a drummer in my mind. In my
You're a drummer
mind,
in your mind.
my mind. Okay, I
Okay, okay.
believe strongly. I'm trying to impress my mother so that she buys me a drum. Okay, at that point. Anyways, so then I meet and said, DJ, okay, DJ. DJ calls me up in 3 days time in my home. Okay, home phone. And DJ says that don't worry about the drums, we'll get something happen. I say, okay, I have loads of experience in my mind. Okay, loads of experience of drumming in my mind. So okay, so I go there. Somehow there's a drum there. I don't know from where their drum came out. Bhanga, a broken drum was there. I say, okay, now DJ says, okay, now play. Mind drummer play. So something happened. I don't know. I just something. Basically, it's like I could stick to a metronome. Somehow I could stick to a metronome. I was not playing anything good for sure, but I could stick to a metronome. That was the boost for me. And then, okay, see, if you can stick to a metronome, you can support a band somewhere or the other. Lars Ulrich proved that already. That's how I got into drumming. After that, it was a struggle all the way. Without DJ, it wouldn't have happened anyways. Okay, like, economically, from everything. Then one day we had this vocalist. Okay. And these are stories everybody should know. Many people don't know about the backstory of Uniqx, how Uniqx eventually reached to Bandmates and final and everything. So we had this vocalist, and he wanted to be like I don't know. He was probably going towards Kumar Sanu, but somebody told him, okay, come and play in a band. Okay. So then he
Okay.
but there was so DJ and I started conspiring. Back then we haven't even properly played a full song together. We've already started conspiring like Aerosmith. Yeah. Now I told DJ that this guy he can't sing words. He's like Bodhure and then done. So now I'm not going to name anyone. Okay. So now what happened is we wanted to get this guy out, but more important was the second guitarist because DJ was playing bass at that point of time, and the guitarist, whoever was there, he was like, yeah, I need a rhythm guitarist, etc., etc. That guitarist eventually got involved in a big band. I'm not going to name him anyways. So then we started looking for a rhythm guitarist. I was coming out of Pantaloons with my mother one day, just coolly walking. I see this angry guy, very angry. Look on his face, angry. Class 9, angry. Okay, totally angry. Walking on the Goliath. Angry guy walking amongst hawkers.
Really? I was that angry.
Like you should have seen Rahi. He's angry.
Man.
And normally when you walk through Goliath, hawkers call you. Like, hey, sir, kineben, sir, what do you want? But the hawkers are scared of him. They can't call him. Because he's so angry. He's walking with Hafta Vasul, yeah. Vasuli bhai. So Rahi is walking angry, and I see this guy with an angry guy with a guitar. This is my man. This is my man. So what we do is the vocalist we were trying to kick out. We asked him to contact Rahi. So the vocalist contacts Rahi.
I just on this I'll say one thing, but that vocalist was a very close friend of mine. Okay, if that
Very
didn't
good
have happened,
friend.
just an FYI. Just an FYI. Yeah.
He and I always have fun on this story, and he's like,
Yeah.
you guys kicked me out and I got Rahi. Anyways, so then I asked him to contact Rahi. Somehow he reaches to Rahi because I knew Rahi's name from school. We were in the same school, all of us. So he somehow contacts Rahi, and then Rahi meets us in Godia More. I still remember that day, right? In one taxi, we were 8 people at that. And a drum.
Oh man. Right.
And then Rahi came in, and somehow we were breathing before we reached to this other guy's place. We practiced there. My very close friend from Para, he tells me that, okay, see, this other guy, vocalist, he's also a friend of mine. He's not Rahi. Okay. So he takes me and DJ aside and he says, okay, this guy, Rahi, is with the guitar. He's playing the guitar, okay. So Rahi sang Chalo Fire Jai that day. And nobody at that point of time had probably even heard Every Rosa Is Thorn, anyways. But long story. But then the friend called me aside and he said, okay, I will personally kick the other vocalist out. I'll make sure he's gone. You guys do something together. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to achieve something. This is 2004 or 5.
Yeah, 4. I think it was 2006.
No,
Maybe
not
5 and or 6, something like that.
maybe 5 or 4. And then maybe 3 years or something. From then we went to Bande Mataram. So that's how my musical journey is basically our musical journey. So after
Mm.
that,
Pretty much the same.
Okay, I just realized that when you were answering that, मैं वही सोच रहा था कि when you are going to come, then I just realized that okay, fair enough. This is basically the band story. I want to take Devashish's perspective once, but before that, I just wanted to point out one thing that this time, like when people start off, and I've this is the reason also, when I also work right now, like when I work on my passion projects right now, I try to involve people in, because I think individually we were doing whatever we were doing, but the moment a team comes in together, like we bonded together. Jaisa bhi ho, when you just mentioned, like kind of that getting into that car and all that, I just, so many memories just flashed back. I remember, and we went to this guy's place, and oh man, and I was never before that. I think I was learning guitar most probably at that point of time. I had sung, but I never was exposed to that. So I had seen bands and all that. So yeah, I will come to that. But let me first get a perspective from Debashish, how he started his music and his guitar playing, and just wanted to kind of go to
Okay.
the roots. Yeah.
See, my musical journey, if I have to say so, yes, pretty much from wherever Mantyn started, we started together from that point of time. But before that, like wow, Mantyn said, na, like he came to my room and he saw that this guy can also play guitar. So flashback, rewind from that. Mantyn knows the story. Many people doesn't. What happened is, see, I grew up in North Calcutta. Okay, a typical
Mm-hmm.
Bengali family, Bengali Brahmin family from North Calcutta.
Mm-hmm.
Whose mornings will start from bhajan. Okay, from Goshtopal, a famous Bengali folk singer who has sang a lot of Bengali folk songs, bhajan, kirtans. And then suddenly when the day progresses, I mean, this is in respect of a holiday, let's say it's a Sunday. So
Mm-hmm.
after my grandmother will sing in her melodious voice, those songs, slowly it will progress. Let's say around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, Ramayana, Mahabharat will come with their magnanimous sound effects. Main samay hu. The first narrator in our childhood. Main samay.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow I always was interested in the soundscape, which I realized much later in life that what exactly drew me towards music. Then when Ramayana, Mahabharat, typical Bengali breakfast or Luchi Alu Chachuri, all these things were over. Now came the time of the young guys of the house. Only one person getting the entire musical show, Kumar Sanu, Subhojeet,
Mm-hmm.
so-called prestigious Subhojeet. So it was all Raju Banga, Gentleman, Mohora, and stuff like that going on in life. Uh, when I transferred, when I got shifted from North Calcutta to South Calcutta, when I came to Baliganj place, so it was a flat. Previously, I was staying in a house, which was a joint property. Now I am starting to stay in a flat because I also belong from the same school as you are, and that is South Point. We're proud to be pointers at any point
Yeah,
of
yeah.
time.
We are three of us are
This is
pointers,
the
right?
most common
Correct.
interesting fact many people don't know. We are all from South Point. Different batches
Mm-hmm.
at different time, but we are proud pointers. So the guy who stays on the fourth floor, our flat is on the first floor. The guy who stays on the fourth floor, for the first time, I heard a faint sound coming from the fourth floor to first floor. It suddenly struck my ear. Now, what kind of a sound is this? I mean, what instrument is this? Before that, mind you, I had no idea of what a guitar sounds like. Okay, I mean, okay, this नीले नीले अंबर पे and चुरा लिया है तुमने, all this everybody has heard, but I really didn't know how English music, so-called rock music, psychedelic rock, punk rock, whatever it is, how it sounded and what instrument is this. That was the solo of uh, Comfortably Numb, which my neighbor Rubaida was hearing. He was playing on his, and that time those cassettes were there. There was no CD. It was still cassettes time. I still have quite a few cassette collection with me, and I really adore them. So that's where I got attached and I wanted to learn that instrument. I had no avenue. I mean, I didn't knew Mantyn at that point of time. I didn't knew you or anybody of that matter. So that guy and his younger brother, they were all suddenly interested. Like होता है ना आप एक colony में रहते हो तो like if somebody is interested in a thing and then many people supports you. So a couple of us got interested. So we kind of convinced our parents to get us acoustic guitars, and I started learning little bit. Got a book. Got my first guitar teacher, Mr. Monod Jana. Mantyn, you can never forget Monod Jana. Okay, Tri County, Bon Jovi. You can never forget. Okay, so yes,
I've also seen him. I've also seen him at your place here.
with all due respect to Monod sir, I think he laid the foundation of where I started from. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he may not be Lemmy or he may not be any rock musician, but he is definitely my guitar guru. And I truly
Right.
consciously admit it today. And yes, that's where I started my guitar point of view. I started the music. But later on, I found myself very quickly learning the stuff and I got interested now. What will I do next? I can now play
Mm-hmm.
the guitar. I picked up the song Hotel California. Now what will I do?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want the entire soundscape with me. So that Mahabharata chorus song, Ramayana chorus song, Sri Krishna chorus song, all the inspirations of Anu Malik, Ajameri Gary Me Bajja and everything combined into this Hotel California. Where do I
Mm-hmm.
take it now? And we met, like I met Martin, a common friend, as I said, we were playing football in the streets and she told, you want to play guitar, you want to form a band, you should meet this guy. He's a great drummer. I never knew that he was a mind drummer. Okay, I knew later. But yes, one thing about Martin, when he came, yes, I committed to him and I have this habit of committing very fast. Once I get confidence on somebody, na, hum kar dega. And if I've taken it on me means I might perish, but the job will be done. So I knew this is the guy. He can do what I think. And before even deciding, Martin hasn't played a single drum bit, and I haven't played with any drummer. Just look at this commitment to each other. He's a mind drummer, and I've already produced a band with him. I
Mm-hmm.
already knew from heart, I know I can connect with him. Next
Mm-hmm.
day, I literally stole 10,000 bucks from my dad's pocket. I literally stood. I'm confessing on air. I told my father also, he is no more amongst us. But later on, I told him, the very next day only, I told him, where will I go without telling you? I,
12,000.
I had taken it out because I need to get some musical instruments. I need to get a drum. And this guy is going to play the drum. Later on, he will pay back. Right now, he is having some shortcoming. Once we establish, he will pay back. And my dad said, okay, I'm trusting you. Go ahead. And Martin came, and you will not believe. When I can't believe myself, and Martin will not can't believe either. He did not play Rasmus only. He played Summer of '69. There were
Mm-hmm.
songs on the terrace that he played. It wasn't an audition. We just started the band. वो क्या नाम रखना है बाद में सोचेंगे पहले तो बजाते हैं. चलो बजाओ. रुक क्यों गए बजाओ.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what a metronome is. I don't know how Martin had the idea of metronome, but it kick-started. Yes, we
Right.
then
Right.
you came along, Martin came along, and that room that we were talking, na, that
Mm-hmm.
8 people in one yellow taxi. Those days,
Mm-hmm.
Ola, Uber, nothing was there. We have a great history of Goria Mode taxi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Shitala Mandir, Goria stand. I'll definitely thank that uncle who returned my phone. All the way he came next day because I left the phone in his cab. And we were
Mm-hmm.
regular goers. Regular means regular. He
Mm-hmm.
came back and gave. So that's another topic will come later. So and that's how the journey kicked off once we entered into that forest bungalow of Rahi and his lovely
For-
momos from Dira. Forest bungalow of Rahi and lovely momos from Dira. I think more than your songs, I think Dira's
ah,
momos did the trick.
yeah, man. We had a lot of support at that point. I think, like looking back, if we like, and I would like to thank my people from my neighborhood. Abhi to main, हाँ,
100%.
I am very right now. I have become very conscious about these things, because I'm into Zen and all that. Thora noise hota hai na mera, I'm like, my head goes off, and we were like full volume singing what not, and like,
No, if you just
and we had
rewind 12 years back,
uh,
one thing about volume, everybody, all of us will remember, there was a big volume fight always happening between me and Rahi. A volume comes up.
right, right.
Right. Volume comes up.
I
These are the
solo
childish things.
solo के
But
time पे
music makes sense. Music makes.
solo के time पे
No,
DJ would increase the volume, and sometimes the volume would be too, well, I mean, going up. Now
If it's
I
too
and
loud,
Sam,
nobody can hear anything else.
and then I sometimes would just leave the room. I'm done. You can go.
volume mods. Yeah, yeah. No, now that you mentioned that, Martin was saying ki angry and all that. I actually think there was a lot of angst at that point. Right now, I'm like fully chilled out, fully zen. I think, but that was very important. At that point of time, I think everyone.
One thing,
Hmm,
when Mantyn met you outside Pantaloons with
hmm,
Kakima and you walking,
hmm,
angry hawker stuff, whatever he's describing here,
hmm.
the feedback that he gave to me that evening when I rang him, he said, hey,
Ah.
pay gets vocalist. This is the only thing he said. I said,
Vocalist, like,
pay
guitarist,
it.
guitarist, found guitarist.
Guitarist, not vocalist, sorry. I said, pay গেছিস হ্যাঁ দারুণ বাজায় হেভি ছেলে হেভি অ্যাটিটিউড আছে দিস ওয়ার ইজ ওয়াট ইট স্টিল রিংস ইন মাই হেড
Happy attitude.
হেভি ছেলে হেভি অ্যাটিটিউড আছে ও বাজাতে পারে I never asked a second question, good, bad, ugly, judgmental or not, because it was that kind of a bond has already happened with him, within
Hmm,
with him and me, and we never realized that. To be honest, before we even came to your residence to start the band, before we even
hmm,
there's a small brief of it, I'll just tell you. There was this particular section in our life, like Martin and my musical journey, we pretty much grew it together. Okay. There was a point in time we had no place to practice. Being a guitar player, you can still put on headphones and practice. Being
hmm,
a drummer, it's an absolutely crucial thing that you have a proper acoustics where you are not disturbing the neighbors and yet you are practicing. Martin had literally one small, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, Chilekota would be the perfect word in Bengali. So he had the small room in his terrace, Chilekota room, and we could hardly fit. I mean, me being
hmm,
me, by my size. Okay,
hmm,
and then Martin and the drum. And we used to play songs repeatedly over and over and over and over and again. And you will not believe how much we enjoyed doing that. It's
hmm.
like as if we were performing in front of an audience and only Rahi was missing in our life back then. So when you joined in, things were pretty much complete. And of course, Sam also came along.
Yeah, so Sam was our bassist. He's not uh he's not there on this virtual meet. I will not. I
He's
will not.
virtually not there.
Sam
He's
is
virtually not there.
he's virtually he's
Somewhere.
no, he's not there. And talking about bassist, our first bassist was Jags. Any
Oh my
contact?
God, and the song, and his lyrics, and his
Nero,
chorus.
Nero,
Jack
then not
was this
Nero,
guy
Nero.
coming from South India. Okay.
Ah.
And he,
Not only Jags came from South India, you guys pretty much don't know how I got Jags into the scene. I was a regular goer to Braganza, the one and only guitar shop in Kolkata by that time.
Mm,
And in Braganza, once you enter, na, Rai, you will remember Braganza. I haven't been
mm.
to Braganza
I
in
this is Braganza's True Tone. This is a Epiphone from sorry, this is a copy True Tone. I got a base of True Tone. I got a same color. I just one day felt I needed a new guitar, and for whatever reason, I woke up.
was coming up by the time I
Yeah.
entered into Braganza. They were developing this brand of themselves. And
Ah,
today, the famous retailer of Kolkata, Mushtaq, he was a employee apprentice in Braganza at that point of time. A very nice person. So I
mm,
entered Braganza. To the right of the store, there will be a wall. They will keep all
mm,
these ads posted. Need a drummer. You want
mm,
like somebody wants to join guitar classes. So we were desperately looking for a bass guitar player, and I found need bassist. Contact this. I have forgotten his name. It's a pretty big South Indian name. Although I am from Chennai, I am now sitting in
Jagmohan
Chennai,
something.
but I have forgotten the name.
Something
We call
Jagmohan.
that fellow. Hey, I found your number here. You want to play bass guitar? You can. हाँ, मैं बजाएगा. मेरे को बजाते हैं, मैं बजाएंगे. अरे ठीक है, तुम बजाएंगे तो तू आएगी. That's how he came into, and he was a very down to earth person, very nice person. But he struggled with that lyrics. When songs come, the band need to support on the chorus, and that
I'm not
Rahi
going to
used to
say
describe that.
he changed some word to something else of a song.
He basically made a child movie into an adult movie.
Yes, exactly. That's what happened. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but yeah.
That was hilarious. But he left up for his studies, and I hope he is doing good wherever he is. I haven't been in touch with him since then. But yes, he was definitely a Kickstarter at that point of time. It was really needed.
Right. We needed.
Who has helped us to be here.
Right. We needed. At that point of time, so many things was happening. Also, that is was very important for us. So I have a surprise for our guests, basically. Not you, for the folks who are watching, and for the for the folks who are not aware of this actually. So wait a minute, I have something. So let me share my screen. And so this is out of the blues. Okay, I just thought, and I love this thing about live programming is this: you can think of something and you can just do it, because you want to do it. And I will do it right away. So this is a song. It's called Cholo Fire Jai. This was our first video that was there. So this is, you're able to see the screen, right? This is this guy Debashish. This is Mantyn without half of his clothes, and this is Sam.
Mantyn, you look like just an unethical hacker at that point of time. Now you have become an ethical hacker.
Yes. I still am.
Yeah.
And that is the angry guy. Angry.
Yeah, so I will play this. Just before that, I'll just do a quick check. If you guys are able to listen to this, just confirm with this if the sound is coming. So that.
পারে তুমি দাঁড়িয়ে কে পারে আমি তোমার আশায় কতদিন কেটে গেছে বলো এই ভালোবাসায় কত স্মৃতি আছে মনে চলো ফিরে যাই সেখানে যেখানে তুমি ছিলে আর আমি ছিলাম আর সব কিছু ছিল ভালো চলো চলে যাই সেখানে যেখানে নীল আকাশ আছে মনের ভেতর আছে আলো ভালোবাসায় কেন দুঃখ দিলে আমায় প্রিয়তমা তুমি কি চাও মনের ভেতর মরে গেছি যন্ত্রণা কেন আমায় কষ্ট দাও তবু আমি স্বপ্ন দেখি তোমার ফিরে এসো হাতটা ধরো আবার ও পারে তুমি দাঁড়িয়ে এবারে আমি তোমার আশায় কতদিন কেটে গেছে বলো এই ভালোবাসায় কত স্মৃতি আছে মনে চলো ফিরে যাই সেখানে যেখানে তুমি ছিলে আর আমি ছিলাম আর সব কিছু ছিল ভালো চলো চলে যাই সেখানে যেখানে নীল আকাশ আছে মনের ভেতর আছে আলো চলো আপনার দেখি একসাথে চলো আমার কল্পনায় মন তোমায় সারাদিন খোঁজে মন আমার হারিয়ে যায় চলো আবার দেখি একসাথে চলো আমার কল্পনায় মন তোমায় সারাদিন খোঁজে মন আমার হারিয়ে যায় মনে পড়ে কথাগুলো তোমার ফিরে এসো হাতটা ধরো আবার চলো ফিরে যাই আবার চলো ফিরে যাই আবার ও পারে তুমি দাঁড়িয়ে চলো ফিরে যাই আবার চলো ফিরে যাই আবার
There are
Thank you, Rahi.
businesses whose sales are decreasing.
Muted.
Rahi, I think you're muted.
Am I audible now? Yeah, I had muted everyone because when everyone was playing. Yeah. So, yeah, as I was saying, I just wanted to kind of do this because a lot of folks who are watching most probably now has an idea of what we were kind of doing at that point of time because we have gotten old. I'm right now 35. And I'm sure we are around the same bracket, and so we did this around. This was let me see, 2000.
No, we were 17.
So for the folks who are do not know Bengali, this song is called Cholo Fire Jai, and it was our first recorded song of music video. Let's kind of put it that way, which went out, and it basically. We had a huge experience on this. We were, all of us were amateurs at that point of time. Right now, also, I'll say that, the fact, now that I look back to this, the fact that we are even doing this today, right? We are sitting, three of us are, sitting in this kind of thing. And technology, this was around 16 years. I just saw 16 years back, we had done this together. And after 16 years, we are sitting, and right now, the technology that we have, we are in our home. Different. No, me and Mantyn are in Calcutta right now, and Debashish is in Chennai right now. So, anyways, we all travel. I've also been outside. Mantyn has been outside also. So we all travel. We have been doing that, and the fact at that point of time, the point that I was telling, that if that wouldn't have happened, I think we would have turned out to be different people, most probably. I don't know, different. Yeah, if even speaking of the band, for me, uh, specifically, I think if that wouldn't have happened right now, even the whole right now when we are even delving into this media thing, also, वो कीड़ा वहां से ही, I think, that started.
One thing,
Hmm.
as 16, 17 years old,
Hmm.
when you get public recognition for anything, like be it
Hmm.
be it playing cricket or I don't know, acting or whatever,
Hmm.
and if you don't consider that to be your eventual career, like it's, let's say you're studying and you know that doctor, engineer, something is going to be your future, right?
Hmm.
But somehow you have this other thing, could be anything, through which you get public limelight. As a 16,
Hmm.
17-year old, it gives you so much confidence that for the rest of your life, you somehow believe that I'll take care of the world. Nothing can stop. You see what
That's
I'm
true.
saying?
I'll agree.
I will. Bolo.
Like,
Bolo, I have a perspective on this.
so when I decided to go for higher studies,
Hmm.
I had no plan. The DJ knows everything. Everything of our lives has been shared. So I was not an academic. Today I'm a PhD from a reputed university in America. But
Hmm.
I was not an academic. I had no affiliations with academia. Right? I read a hacker book, just a book by a hacker, and I was like, this guy is amazing.
What is
He's
the book's name?
It's called Ghost in the Wires: My Adventures as the World's Most Wanted Hacker. It's an autobiography of Kevin Mitnick, who is considered a godfather of many hackers like me. Although I'm also a PhD, not just a hacker, but I consider myself both. So it was. I read the book, and one night while I was reading the book, and I'm not a book reader. I've never read any book except for the preface of Harry Potter. I read the preface of Harry Potter.
Or preface of Harry Potter.
That's it. That's the only book I've read in my life. Okay.
Okay.
Nothing else. My parents.
What inspired what inspired you to read the preface of Harry Potter? If I may
My
ask.
father forced me to, not inspired, forced me to read the book. He said that
Okay.
you should read books and your English is pathetic, so you should read books. Although I was listening to Aerosmith pretty much, so I should have developed my English by then. And anyways, the point is, I read that hacker book one day. The next day, I decided that I'm going to be a hacker.
Be a hacker. Oh man.
I had no idea. I mean, basic computer science, I knew is as much as you guys know right now as well.
Hmm.
Today, I'm a guy who builds operating systems and whatnot. So this is 10 years down the line, just 10 years, exactly 10 years. 10 years ago, I decided that I want to be something in computer science. I wasn't a computer science bachelor. I had no idea of computer science. And that confidence, I believe, came from the day when I was a mind drummer and I decided that I will be a professional drummer at one point. And I jumped into it, right? With the support of you guys. But you guys were way more talented than I was at that point of time. DJ was an amazing guitarist, you were an amazing singer and a guitarist. But I was nowhere near to the level of knowledge in terms of the instrument as well as talent that you guys had. But my thing was, ho jayega.
See, I'll say something regarding.
It was pretty much the same for me, Mantyn. I mean, thank you for telling I'm an amazing guitarist, but I never considered myself to be an amazing guitarist. I just wanted to learn how to play. And the same amount of confidence that you were talking about came to me while I played along with you. I think we contributed to each other's confidence. Nobody had it apart. I mean, beyond you and me, I didn't know. If I wouldn't have been complimented by Rahi's vocals and your drum, how else I would have got my confidence? You need, at least you need a wall for the ball to bounce back. So you guys were the wall. Whatever I played, whatever Rahi wrote when we were constructing. I mean, speaking of music, when we first
Hmm.
heard Rahi in Rahi's home, okay, that day, it was just in, like, it's flashback clearly. Rahi is standing and he's singing his songs with all his angry stand. He
Hmm.
will kill the world with his mic stand. And the energy that Rahi had, like, okay, maybe he's saying that in a much more calmer way. He was never that calm. Okay. But that energy, it gave an immediate confidence. Okay, he can do it, I can do it, and we can do it. And that somehow got carried along the way wherever we are right now. It worked for all of us
Right, but
in our own personal space.
this is where I wanted to use the point of band music. Okay,
Yes,
take Metallica for example. Lars Ulrich. Many people have a lot of complaints about him. He's not a very good drummer, etc., etc. Okay, but then if you take the other guys in there, they have that go right. So I take my example in the similar picture. So I dived in, but now once I've dived in, getting the limelight is not easy. I can dive into something like form a band. I don't know. There were like lakhs of bands in Bengal at that point of time. But if I didn't have the support of you guys, then I wouldn't also have got that limelight at that point of time. And 16
so
years, 17 years old kid, you were a mind drummer 2 years back. Now you're in the limelight. Your videos are playing in the YouTube. You go to college for the first day and people are like, hey, I know this guy. He's playing in this competition. He won. We were on tram and bus, and after winning scholastic bid, we were like on Raspberry More everywhere, right? And these guys are like, I know this guy. Look at me, mind drummer 1.5 years back, and I was not. I mean, I was not even. I didn't deserve that. But that limelight, I'm like, acha, you have this path to, you know, to confidence, to achievement. So that gives you so much confidence that life was for me always like that time I dived in and I made it big. Let us dive in again. We'll make it big again.
like I will like to add only one line. The fact that you still consider that you never deserved it, it only brings your humility out in front, and that's how you could dive into any other thing with that confidence.
I'm
I think
35
the
years
moment
old.
it is,
I have I have a PhD, the highest you can earn in academia. And there's no shame in accepting, what we used to have. It's always fun. Even today, if I start playing, I've gained a lot of accolades even after that. Even in America, people have praised my drumming. But that came out of the encouragement that I received as a 16-year-old playing with you guys. And I knew that, okay, all I have to do is to support these guys. I cannot make the song better. I'm not that good right now.
yeah,
Just keep supporting
definitely,
these guys.
definitely. And you have really done your part, and you have received your accolades for that only. You've really done, and everybody has done their part. Especially the guy who is hosting the podcast, our
One
very
question
own Kolkata's Joe Rogan.
So one question I've been asked a lot. Lot of people have asked me. So there was one incident. I was working in TCS at that point of time, and we were sitting outside the office. And this was when I was in India before I left for US. And I was sitting outside the office, and some guy, he's talking about Bangla bands. Okay, I'm drinking tea. So this guy's talking about bands and how he was in bands and he was supposed to be in Bande Mataram 3, 2, and then 3, etc. And then he was saying that there were different bands and he didn't like how the bands eventually reached the final, etc., etc. He had opinions about it. One of the bands he liked at that point was called Unix, which also happens to be an operating system, by the way, in my area. Anyways, so he was asking this one question about why these bands break up. Because Aliens was active still at that point of time. Rage was not, we were not, and probably Atmahatya was also not. Okay. So he had this curiosity of why these bands break. And somebody told him Do you know this guy sitting opposite to you or in the other group? He's the drummer of Unix. He was the drummer of Unix. Now he's playing for a different group, etc. etc. So then he asked me later on. I met him outside and we were talking. And he said, "Why did you guys break?" And I have heard this question a lot of times, even in America. People who knew us, even from experienced guys who are still in the music industry that I've met in America, who asked me the same question: "Why did you guys break up? What happened?"
So I'll kind of take it. I'll take that cue and I'll kind of take it from there. But so many things have been covered of what you guys were saying. First, I'll touch up on what you were saying at that point of time regarding, like being humble that you kind of said, and like. Uh, 1 year ago you were doing like air drumming or mind thinking drumming, whatever you kind of phrase that as, and then you kind of did it. But Mantyn, I'll tell you one thing, what I have learned and what I've observed is that, see, we all knew that Mantyn was good in one thing. He was good in physics, maths, all these things, right? So transferable skill, if you're good in one skill, right, we learn right now. Also we learn, right? We are learning thing. Music is also something that we learn in time, right? So everything today also, I'm sure we are part of some of you are part of corporates. I myself am there, so we upskill ourselves, right? So it's similarly that I'll give an example here what I wanted to kind of say. And Debashish mentioned Mustaq. Very funnily, Mustaq is very close to me nowadays, and he has got his own yeah, he has got his own shop, and that shows how he will be in this podcast also. He's supposed to be. So that's a different story altogether. So I remember Braganza. Braganza, let me kind of talk about those, a bit of that time was very important for me. I do not know about what when Mantyn mentioned limelight, all these things. At that point of time, I think we were very young. Those things were very we were very what should I say, uh, young. Okay, young and angry and hungry and sometimes clueless. So
I was always
yeah, very impressionable age at that point of time. Very
for all the cake shop visits.
yeah, so very impressionable age we were at that point of time. And I think that was something which we had most probably got influenced in different ways. But for me now, when I look back to it, I feel that those were the most fun times, and I still take from there with right now also in my side right now, as in uh, can you guys hear the dog's voice by any chance?
Yeah.
You guys can, right? Give me a minute, just give me a minute.
Okay, Rahi,
Just
one
give
thing. I might have to quit in half an hour maximum, or 20 minutes.
we'll close it in half. No issues. I understand. That's the reason I said we'll maybe do a part two later, and I'll close it
Yeah.
off. I'll close it off with a
Because I think the point of this one was more Unix. Later on,
so let's kind of talk on that only. So just give me a quick moment. Let me no, if I pull on the door, they will come in. No issues. Take it. Yeah, sure, and they will pick it up. I'll say something on this. So that's what I'm saying. I when I look back at those times, it's more about the journey, it's more about the fun. Okay, it's not about किसने कितना footage कहाँ पे where कहाँ पे newspaper, those things really right now when I reflect to that, uh, really doesn't matter, else we wouldn't be sitting like 16 years later and having this conversation, right? So I think those were the building blocks. The expression maybe was in music at that point of time. Right now we have different expressions, I'm sure. Though I do music, but music is not my bread and butter. And as Mantyn was saying that okay, like that gives the confidence of doing it, kuch dekh lega. I did not have that, to be very honest. I was see, we all come from a background which is middle class or higher middle class in Bengali, right? So the basic thing is that somehow I think the idea is that there has to be a bit of security somewhere, no matter how good you are. Wo- that is there behind. I think more than else, both of I was most probably in the other spectrum, but you know, uh, I think that was there. And I don't know if you guys have heard this concept that follow your passion is not always the right advice. You might be passionate about something, right? But you can do it. Right now I'm passionate about this, I'm doing this, I'm passionate about music, no one can stop me. I have like 10 guitars right now in my home, I rarely play them. uh I'm right now passionate about cameras, films, productivity, those things. I'm doing that. But we should always, the moment you turn your passion into a profession, I think again I'm being subjective from my end, and this is I'm discussing only because we are together discussing on this. And the moment we look into passion as passion, then only अगर if you see biryani का feel आएगा जब तुम बिरयानी खाने को जाओगे. You go there because you like to have it, right? If that was your job, having biryani every single day of your life, trust me, after 30 days or 60 days, you'll be like, please give me Chinese. Right. Something like that. So I feel that, what I like, and the reason we are having this conversation is that uh, keep those times very alive. So we were in discussions that maybe later on, when we are in the same city, we might do a jamming, or maybe something like that. I think because we can do that because we do not have that immense pressure that we have to prove something. We, even with this podcast, we do not need to prove anyone anything. We had fun at that point of time, and we are having fun right now. We are basically having our Friday night party right now. I know that Mantyn is being called ghar pe, everyone has their all these things. Debashish is getting calls, and but I'm very grateful that you guys are spending time for this podcast at this point of time, because uh, I feel that the music is there, but the what started with the music has taken us to a different what should I say? The friendship started. Mantyn was when we were before we started the podcast. Mantyn was talking that regarding this, saying that we knew each other through music only, right? So that has taken us to a different space, and I think I'm very grateful. That 16 years ago, my inner circle was the same. Right now is also at least the same people are there. Maybe it has extended. Maybe new folks have been added to my different teams, or but I know that this is something which is very organic, and you cannot replace this. So yeah, sorry, I was getting a bit emotional, and I again I talked a bit more. That's the reason I got this topic.
Absolutely okay. We're
you
human
know
beings. We have the
yeah,
power.
yeah. So no, I will come something, I'll say something because it just reminded me. uh, I'll give an example. Me and Debashizda were on phone for a whole night. We were talking on Gandharvas and all these things. If
Yeah,
Debashizda
recently, I
remember.
think couple of months back. Couple of
Yeah, a
months
couple
back.
of months back, like we talked on these things, and I at that point of time only we had discussed that we'll get. So Debashizda has also got a lot of stories to kind of say. Mantyn has also his stories. Today we have already crossed the 1 hour mark. We are at 1 hour 5 minutes, so there will be different segments that is there. Today we'll I have already a format which I wanted to ask the questions, but what we'll do is that I wanted to get some points. So we know Debashish is a guitarist. Everyone knows that. Your colleagues know you as whatever they know you as, right? But if you could in a maybe we'll later have like individual one-on-ones with you folks, but since we have you folks here,
Love
I
that.
would,
We'll love that.
yeah, I want to kind of just give it a bit push right now to hear about what Devashish, if you could enumerate what we had discussed. What are your ideas on this? I found it very interesting, kind of talking with you. And I remember there was an incident that had happened, and that's the reason we were talking. And anyway, so if you could enumerate your point of views on your theological, philosophical, I find it very interesting. To kind of, if you could.
What happened is that
Mhm,
I'll try to, and I'll be very brief about it to begin with.
mhm,
It has a lot of do. It has to do. I mean, it has to start with Mantyn. Okay, that night
mhm.
I didn't mention that because of
Okay.
the short span of time. But
Okay.
Mantyn, you are pretty much responsible for what I'm going to say. Okay. Uh, you remember Mantyn at one point of time when we were not Unix, we were still doing music in our individual scope. I think Rahi was that point of time visiting A.R. Rahman School of Music.
Mhm,
Um, he was he has already crossed the MTV episodes. And Martin and myself, we were recording our own instrumental creation as Wrong Kid. Martin picked up this. Martin always had this unusual habit. He was the one who will bring the wrong ideas. That's how the name Wrong Kid was given to our instrumental setup. He will bring peculiar ideas. Okay, and one of the ideas that he brought, but we could not mature it together because of our personal different things that was happening in life. That was spirituality into music. I think Martin, you will remember that. Like,
Yeah,
how
we
do we
were
express
into childhood
our
talent.
music through spirituality? Spirituality, as in the original core of our Hinduism. I mean, Hinduism, just to name one, it can be any other religion as a matter of fact. How to relate that essence to music, the purity of it. I tried my hands a little bit, then I got stuck. My dad passed away. I went into my job and things were very serious. Later on, as I progressed, I mean, I am not regularly playing music commercially or I'm not even releasing anything. I do play, that is different. Because playing is something which gives me the missing me. Like Martin got the confidence of himself by playing. You got a different perspective, right? Like, okay, this is who I am built with. And I found myself in music. Now, the fact I wanted to define how did I find myself? Because it's like, okay, I have found myself. I know even today, if I have an argument in my office, what kind of music? It's not the name of the artist or the song which comes to me. It never came back then, also. It's the music which comes to me. I will play something randomly. I don't have a guitar, would have played otherwise. And I would play something randomly. It, it will be not of any artist, probably. I don't even know if it matches with someone. But the soundscape from my very childhood point of time, it still came back. So that night, what I was discussing with Rahi was I explored a lot of spirituality. I explored spirituality as in not buying Osho way, not going in any ashrams or anything. But I read a lot of lot of books and mostly a lot of documentaries. Again, Martin is responsible for my habits of documentaries. Ancient Egypt, ancient India, how India is related to Egypt through mythological stories, and you amazed if you experience. They got a deep connection with music and the kind of music which I am interested in from the very deep of my heart, I connected to it. Like for example, how Gandharvas you were saying. So Gandharvas, very shortly I will tell. Who were Gandharvas? Gandharvas was the first musicians ever mentioned in our Vedas. Okay, there is a lot of literature in our country. Okay, but the oldest literature is known as Vedas and Puranas. Now this is very interesting for all the established musicians, with all due respect, and for the upcoming ones and the practicing ones. If you go back to our very books of Vedas, you will find mentions of Gandharvas. There were Ritikas and Gandharvas, I mean dancers and musicians. Okay, there was no drummer, there was no guitarist, there was no vocalist. So what they were even playing? They were creating, they were touching those God frequencies. Like today, Martin will understand this. There's a frequency 598. 497. These are mystical frequencies. Even science is trying to decode them. I literally did this, Martin. I told to Rahi, I set up the tuner, I tuned my guitar, and I simply played the C major chord. Okay, and I went through the scale. If you tune it to that frequency, the kind of effect it will have on your soul, forget the body, just the soul. It is unimaginable. I'm going on air saying this, but it's unimaginable. And if you play Cholo Fire Jai, all of our instruments tuned to that frequency, like how we will do standard frequency 440 hertz. Okay, so if you tune it down to that frequency and you do the scaling to that level and you play the song, you sing it in that phrase, and Mantyn also follows the drum tuning, how you will tone down your drums, the snare and all, and you will play to that thing, the entire meaning of what Rahi thought while even writing the first words of it, it will come out. And these are mentioned in our Vedas. So when I was reading through it, that's a different side of me. I kind of explored that, and I was discussing that with Rai, and we love to do that one day.
That's a
Because
Yeah,
very,
I think.
very
people
good
who have
concept.
heard of Rahi, they have
If
watched
we
the
Yeah,
films.
if
yeah, I think.
we can ever explore that, that would be out of the world.
Yeah, talking
And
about
I explore
exploration.
it. I
Yeah.
explore it every now and then. And it's very simple. You can do it in your home. You have an electric
Mhm,
drum set. You have an entire studio setup, right? Try it one day in any of your
mhm,
podcasts. You will
mhm.
understand. You will get the difference. You don't have to do anything. It's like just some scientist whom we are calling as Gandharvas. They were like music scientists, music ka scientist. Okay, like people say that Tansen used to play a particular rag which will bring down the clouds for rain. Okay, what if I tell you that he was only striking that particular frequency will bring the who will just simply call upon the clouds for that particular in that range to strike the thunders and give the rain. Today we are saying is this what is that in the movie Marvel movie the Thor and all what we are seeing. I mean, the frequency was already established by our sages and all in the Vedas. And as a musician, we can definitely explore that. I mean, I definitely want to explore that. I do in my own time and space. Love to go with you all.
Right, because that struck a chord with me. I remember because I myself am a spiritual person, and we had talked a lot. So I think that would take a whole podcast in itself, episode in itself. So I'm not going to delve in that much.
You should get an
Yeah,
episode on that. You should get an
yeah,
episode on that.
yeah. I should kind of do that. So I will keep it for that. But I also wanted to ask Mantyn here. So Debashish is in this track right now. He's he's researching regarding Gandharvas. He has gone into this, he has these spiritual awakenings and all these things we have discussed. And I trust me, I'm sure you know him. Obviously, you know much better of the updates that I'm sure you guys have discussed. But I have a very interesting kind of observation because we were talking today only today and also this week only we were kind of discussing regarding this. It was supposed to happen yesterday. uh, so regarding you and the stuff that you do, apart say music to hai music hum log sab jante ke we are musicians, but the work that you're doing, you're super kind of pumped up regarding cybersecurity, all these things. So if you could kind of delve a bit deep into, wanted to discuss some of this work that you do and how it inspires you, to kind of do it. What inspired you to do a PhD? I find, to be very honest, people who do PhD very boring, but knowing that Mantyn has done a PhD, my idea about that has changed. To be very honest, I come from Xavier, so half of my English literature student uh, classmates are doing that. I'm saying, but you are doing
It's
this
like a whole
this
set of
really
PhD.
so this actually inspires me. What first of all, what inspired you to do PhD? Let me understand. You were doing a corporate job, right, at that point of time, if I understand. So why do that? Why get into that?
So I
What is
said,
what?
when
Hmm,
see again, like I mentioned a few moments back.
hmm,
Once you get the feel of limelight, you kind of want to stay in that.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
You don't want to fall off that grid. So when I was working a corporate job after college, obviously in college you mostly party and play football, you hardly do
hmm,
anything
hmm,
else. Then after that, once you get into this corporate job, Now you're just an average guy. You're one in 1 million, something like that. For me,
Okay.
at that point, and I'm like, this is not what I want to do. Yeah. Now, how do I set myself apart? If I do a PhD in, let's say, mathematics, just saying, not that area, but just saying, so what's going to happen is I'm going to be treated, maybe, although I know mathematics PhDs and mathematics who actually are full-time musicians as well. In fact, there is one very famous astrophysicist who's a PhD and a visiting professor at, I think, King's or Queen's College in London, who also happens to go by the name of Brian May and happens to play in Queen, or used to play in Queen.
Okay.
So there are PhDs who have done. There's another guy from. His name is Dexter Holland.
Okay.
He's from Offspring. Offspring was a very favorite band of ours. He's the
Offspring. Oh man.
PhD microbiology.
Okay.
So
Band of Pink Floyd was filled with literates and this PhD holders.
no, I mean I'm talking about PhDs in science right now, not.
Yeah,
So-
I was actually trying to point that out only. I have a lot of friends in arts who have done it, but this is
I'm talking about
please
PhD
go
in
ahead.
science. Right?
Mm.
Anyways, so for me, the inspiration was, I think, similar to what these guys have also mentioned in other podcasts, these famous people. And the point is not going away from the limelight. So if I walk out on the road, at least one people knows me by Dr. something. Right? That keeps you in the limelight. Now, why cybersecurity? That's the more important part. PhD is there, sure, why not? I'm not a big fan.
Cybersecurity, right? Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the word PhD. It's okay. I hardly use that from my name. But computer security to me was something which gave me the Metallica boom that I used to get as a 9-year class as a 15-year-old guy. So I'll give you me. See, for me at that point, it was like when we were in school, it was like listen to Pantera, beat people up. That was the whole thing.
Beat people, listen to Pantera, beat people.
For me,
It was
for me, it was never like,
Oh man.
okay, listen to Pink Floyd and take, hallucinate or something. I was never into anything.
hallucinated by the way.
Correct. I was never. Me and DJ, we both were never into any sort of drugs, so to say. Nothing. Never even smoked marijuana. Okay.
Right.
At least smoke cigarette. I quit cigarette long time back. So I'm not that kind of. But for us, it was all about aggression.
Clean rock and roll.
Clean rock and roll, but take it to the football pitch and beat people up. Like Liverpool.
What is about you and beating people up? I've never seen you.
Don't bring up Liverpool and Chelsea here.
Yeah, football.
You guys are having the worst season right now.
So we used to club this all things together, like Pantera playing at one side, and you see these football hooligans fighting. Those kind of things. Movies like Warrior, movies like My Left Foot. These kind of things we used to get us pumped up. People were going brash and fighting, and Guy Ritchie movies. Though that was our kind of thing. So now for me, as I was growing old, I couldn't do that anymore. But there was one way in which I could still do that fight. That was computer security. Because hackers are the so-called. So even if you see the public media now, you will see this. Suddenly, this bad hacker comes out of there. He is this anti-hero. He's not bad guy. He's anti-hero. He's fighting for some cause. Blah blah blah. And then people are like, "Oh, this community is called anonymous." In the hack. I was inspired by these guys. They never stole anybody's money. They never did. They were the anti-heroes, and I always wanted to be an anti-hero. What better than to go in that area? So nothing regarding to computers. Yeah, I like some stuff here and there, but it was mostly my passion about. So I read this one book one day by Kevin Mitnick. Kevin Mitnick is kind of a godfather to all of us, computer security. And that book, I read it for 1 month. And that book, after I finished that book, I was like, I want to be this guy. World's most wanted hacker. How can a guy study computers or electronics and end up being FBI's most wanted? How is that possible? I mean, the people I know with computer knowledge, they sit in some desk and spend 8 hours there every day. Nobody knows them, not even their own manager. When their manager talks to their own manager, they said, our team did that. Right. So uh, that the thing is, nobody, and these guys, they were on some public, radar and stuff. This kind of things inspired me a lot. That's how I went into computer security.
Okay, great. You know what? What I'll do is that because I know this conversation can go for 10 hours. I know that. Okay,
Yeah.
we can be even for 24 hours also. So we
Easily.
all have our, I and this will have segments. So what I'll do is that for this, we already touched upon our musical selves. We kind of got to know what we are doing right now. Uh, I wanted to ask you folks, though not putting anyone in a position, okay? And, you guys can refuse to answer this. That is okay, not an issue. But though we will have a different kind of recording after this maybe, but I do want to at least contain in this version of this podcast this, what are the plans artistically? Do you guys have any plans like regarding music, or any form of art form, any form of media later working on? Maybe you guys have any plan, or you guys are working on something that you guys want to share, or what कुछ चल रहा है ऐसा कुछ, anything? And I know Mantyn is involved with some this, we were talking so about something, so just very curious.
Active. Mantyn is pretty much active.
Yeah.
Recording stuff. He shares stuff. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I speak to him. I
Mm-hmm.
understand. See, for me,
Mm-hmm.
it has been. I have been just the opposite character of Mantyn. Okay, I mean, I was never fond of limelight. If it came, it came. If it never, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think I have ever expressed myself that I'm really enjoying the limelight. I mean, as if I want to be in it. I mean, winning. Who doesn't like winning? If you're playing up for a
Mm-hmm.
competition, you're competing against the guys who are better in terms of skill. I always considered all the bands, Atmahatya,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so whoever were there at that point of the who won,
Mm-hmm.
whoever we crossed to be where we were. Scholastic Beach
Mm-hmm.
finals in Science City Auditorium when we won. We had to beat quite a lot of guys, not physically. So musically, the judges selected us.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of in the essence like deep. I was always in the deep. I mean, like Mantyn was a real putting up the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
I must be in the limelight. The band must be in the limelight. Rahi, I mean, Rahi, as in that point of time,
I
Rahi was like really
all
working
about
hard.
attitude. I was all about attitude at that point.
My perspective of my band's lead vocals, Rahi,
Ah,
that I'm
ah,
sharing, it would have been attitude.
ah,
Yes, attitude was a trademark of Rahi, but
ah.
Rahi was focused on letting it out. I was pretty much
Mm,
focused on the people who are hearing my song should hear them, just not listen to them. It should reach them. And
mm,
while I was exploring the part, whatever we are delivering, it should touch the hearts. If it is not touching
mm,
the heart, why it is not touching the heart? I was more into the depths of it. For me, every single piece of note that I've ever played has always been like that. I
mm,
really never bothered. We lost, we won. Thanks to the judges who selected us, thanks to our hard work, thanks to God, to our parents, everybody. But for me, it has always been like that. I mean, I remember, I'll just share a very personal incident. There was a Hindi film, Martin, I think you have seen it also. Film released in Hollywood in 2013, Diwali to be precise. It was Jab Tak Hai Jaan by Shah Rukh Khan. So, yeah, okay, it's a very cliched story. Things are happening. There's a girl, there's a boy, there's a flashback. People are falling in and out of love. But there was a particular piece of music in the background, it's a background score, which got me in the entire length of the movie of 3.5 hours. It was tough to digest for most of the countrymen. I fell in love with the movie because of the soundscape it had created. I was always in love with the soundscape. So coming from that point of view, if I say now I am still in love with the soundscape, be it through the Gandharva, I am in Chennai. I'm hearing so much of Tamil music, Tollywood music or Tamil ancient music. I
Mhm.
keep on visiting places where they teach the Bharatanatyam, not to see the people dancing, but to hear the music they're dancing upon. Why this legacy of music is coming from where? Why it didn't reach the east? Why it got stuck in the south? Or did it come from the Lanka? So the history and the depth of it, I'm still stuck in that. So about sharing, this is what exactly I'm sharing. I'm not recording much, but I am doing a mathematics which, if it adds up, it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be really something the probably the world has not experienced. I might be a bit large to say that larger than
Mhm.
life thing, but I like to work things. I like to work on things like this, and we need all the perspective of life. If you know, a guy who is very hungry to be in limelight is putting all efforts. A guy who is very hungry to be heard, he's putting all efforts. Somebody needs to hold the leash and take the depth. A ship who floats afloat, he will have the ship will have the same depth inside. So I kind of take the downstairs. Let's go to the depth. So yes, I am working on certain music, and I've been working for a long time now. When the time will come right, I shall get the chance of expressing out to you all. But firstly, I'll try to present it in front of all of you because it doesn't make
Great,
much sense
great,
without all of us being together. It doesn't make sense to
great,
me
great,
without all of us being
great,
together. And
right.
Martin, you are doing a
I'll.
lot of music here on your individual, so share something about it.
I mean, while in the US, I was mostly, I mean, played with a few people here and there, but playing and see, creating for the liking. When I used to come to us and say, I have a song, I'll sing with a guitar. He sang with a guitar, and then it used to register, and from there taking it, it's like the researcher that I do today. Still the same thing, right? I spend so much time on. I used to spend so much time thinking about that song, anything, any of our songs back then. Today, since that year, maybe after that, when DJ and I were doing some stuff, we used to think, but not that much. So since those years of Unix, I've not thought about creatively about creating songs. I've played a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of handwork as a percussionist, but creatively thinking about creating something, I don't think I've spent much time on that for years. But once we come back, you will see magic happen again.
Yeah, definitely. Calcutta will see magic happen. One thing, I really couldn't get the hang of calling the city as Kolkata till now. It
No,
will always be
Mhm.
Calcutta for me.
always,
Mhm.
And no
always.
disrespect to any government articles or any rules and all, but boss, I can't call Calcutta as Kolkata. I have understood this much. Calcutta is
Always,
Calcutta.
Great.
always.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that since you're outside the city, you feel this so much more, right? Kind of uh,
I think it is absolutely opposite. I'll tell you.
opposite.
My wife asks me quite a few times, I mean, don't you miss the city? Forget about missing the
Mm-hmm.
family. That's default.
Mm-hmm.
And my girls are now 4.5 years old. I have twins. Okay, so they see
Mm-hmm.
me on the video call like we are interacting to each other on a day-to-day basis. I really get an
Okay.
opportunity to come back home because of the busy work schedule. But I really don't miss the city because I thought about it. What is that part of the city which I liked? There is no particular spot of the city which I can recall that this is the spot of the city which reminds me of Calcutta. It's
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's just by the name when you call Calcutta, it strums some different chord in the heart. There is no particular lane that can define that I miss that lane or this lane. I miss the entire
Mm-hmm.
thing as a whole. And I have no words, I have no chords, I have no tune to describe it. And when you put it in Chennai's perspective, it's a different place, that's all. And when I'm connected, when in my own space, I think I'm in Calcutta. I'm just not left there. I haven't left. I mean, Sadhuda's chai, dukan, the addas that I had for so
Oh
many days,
man.
the Thalia outings. Okay, so many in Thalia
I
bills
think
have
we made a lot of money for Intalia,
But
I really, those
he didn't make a
man.
lot of money for Intalia. I debited a lot of money from my own pocket for
Oh
Intalia. I
man.
didn't see a single shit of money. But those
I
are
I
memories.
right,
Those are
right.
memories. You can't come out of them. And like Martin went to US. I am telling you
Mm,
in front of him, he is one of the guys that I know who went to US. Never thought that he is in US. He thought he is in India and in Calcutta, and he desperately wanted to come back to Calcutta, not in any part
mhm.
of the country, especially to Calcutta. So how can you not be a part of the route where you belong from?
So, uh, in my last 10 years, of like obviously I did get a lot of good memories in the US. Obviously, during my education, during my research and everything, it was a lot of fun. But if you ask me, what was my best favorite day in the US? If I had to rank two of them, not three. The
Okay,
second one will be the day I got my PhD, and the first one would be just 6 days after that, the day I came back to India.
Okay.
Those are two happiest days of my entire 10-year stay in US. Almost 10 years stay, 9 years something stay in US. That I don't remember. I don't off the top of my head. I don't remember a day where I was very happy. Ah, I've done something. That's different thing.
that is what exactly it is. I mean, he
Generally, I
is
don't
not away from Calcutta. He was never away from Calcutta. Okay, physically he was in a different space,
Physically.
but emotionally or psychologically or telepathically he was always here.
I even told this to Nobadun when I met him.
Hmm.
Good. Great.
17, 18 something. I met him in America. He was touring there with Anupam Rai. And we were in, I used to live in Colorado where they were, so I met them. Actually, then Nobadun recognized me. I don't know how. I gained like what, 15 kgs from then, but he recognized me. And we had a lot of discussion and talk. And I told him, I'm here. I just told myself for 10 years, this is your time to be someone else. For 10 years, just be someone else. Then you'll go back
Also
and
build yourself up. Build yourself up, right? That is the idea.
build that self. I had to sacrifice a lot. 10 years of being without you guys, without life in Calcutta, without football in my para locality, without cha, tea locality, like, without returning back at 11 at night every day, like that, right? 10 years without
Mhm.
that. How can you live 10 years without yourself? You can't. Therefore, you have to be someone
Yeah.
else. I lived like someone else for 10 years and then came
Exactly.
back to myself.
Exactly.
Right. Absolutely, can relate that
Just last
that.
Diwali, this current Diwali, Rahi, I
Mhm.
saw in Baliganj place, Usha Di was performing a concert. Okay. In our
Mhm.
locality. One thing you will be knowing that place in front of Rahul Corner, South Point High School का पीछे में.
Oh, Rahul's corner. अभी Rahul's corner क्यों बोला? मुझको खाना याद आ गया भाई.
मेरा पाड़ा है यार. So Usha
Oh
to
man, happy.
was
Okay.
playing a concert over there. Okay. Just the night before Diwali. And there were couple of three performances were going to happen. This is very important for the music industry. I was kind of surprised to see the guy on stage. I mean, it was just a flick of luck that I am in the crowd. He's on the stage, but none of us are unhappy about it. Okay, and that's music too. I mean, for me, that's the music. That's a masterpiece of
Mhm.
music happening right there.
Mhm.
Usha to perform, she went off. I'm forgetting the name of the second artist, some Mr. Gaurav. He's from Saregama Z, Saregama, some champ. He has won a title, so he was also invited. Then the third one was a famous Bollywood singer right now, Nikita Gandhi. So Nikita Gandhi played
Nikita, acha, okay.
Nikita Gandhi. You know her? You happen to know her? You have been to
No,
Bollywood.
not personally, not personally, but yeah, I know.
She came on stage. She was performing all her hit numbers of like Bollywood films, and she had a band. Okay, and the band who was performing, guess who was the guitar player on stage?
Adil.
Yes.
So I know from that perspective. I know, yeah, because
I
she works with sometimes and UA के साथ she does collabs and all that. I know that
okay, so
underground
Adil
authority.
was playing the guitar. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even recall Adil. For like half of the concert was over. I think I have seen this guy somewhere. I have seen this guy. I know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then somebody called his name on the stage. There, like co-mates were calling the name. Like Adil Rashid, Khidirpur, all these flashback memories of him were coming up, and there are things better we not talk about on air. But yes, it came back. But then what I found is that he is still a great guitar player, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was supporting Nikita Gandhi's performance, and Nikita Gandhi, to be precise, I don't know if anybody has seen her like stage acts. She's like a rock star.
No, I have not seen her.
On stage, she's like on fire on stage. Although she's performing on Bollywood numbers, Mantyn, you will be surprised to see her performance. I'm literally saying this. She's not like Shreya Ghoshal or any other typical Bollywood artist singing her solo hit numbers. She is really good, and Adil is perfectly supporting. And there is another
Mm.
guitar player on the stage called John. I have never seen him. So John,
John Paul.
I mean, he had a thick long hair, young guy. I
He
have never
plays for
seen him.
Arijit now. I know he was with me in MTV, but he got out in the I know him.
So both of them were supporting cast of this stage, and it brings up a lot of memories. Okay, this
Mm-hmm.
song we hear on the radio, probably your family members likes them, although they will not dance to Lemmy, although we will crazily bang our heads on Lemmy. Probably our wives and our children will, at this point of time, they will not understand Lemmy, but they will dance to Nikita Gandhi's song. And the artists who are supporting Nikita Gandhi's performance to make it more popular, they are true rock stars. I can't
Mm-hmm.
take anything away from them. And that, if you see the irony in the entire thing, you can understand where the industry in Bengal is headed. How
Mm-hmm.
the artists are getting, what kind of performance they're pulling out, and what are they capable of. We all know, you know, how good a guitar player Adil is. But technically,
Adil has been in the podcast. He has been in the
podcast, your podcast, I've
podcast.
seen him live playing. We have competed against each other in Yamaha Asian Beats. I think, Martin, it was Asian Beats, no?
Yeah.
Yamaha Asian Beats.
He came here. He played here also.
Even before that, as done PD, I guess. Right?
Even before that, as Dampede, I almost forgot. So he had been in the industry quite a long time. Like you are not pursuing Rahi as a bread and butter, but he's still pursuing that line.
No, he's full time.
His
Full time music.
and look at the CNC he has covered. Finally ended up on the stage on Baliganj Place performing for a Bollywood artist, and still whatever part he was doing was great. No doubt. He was his part that he was playing. I mean, he was a rock star on the stage. He is going on, jumping around, standing on the monitors, putting the guitar on thighs, and like as if he was playing a Guns N' Roses solo. Okay, but the context was very different. So that itself again brought out the depth of me. So I don't know whether you are aware of it. So yes, the scene of Bengal should change. Music should be refreshed. F5 button dabane ka hai. I mean, what Unix created, I will not boast about it, but we did had a base. We were liked by a lot of people because of the aggression of Rahi, because of the attitude, because of the hunger of Mantyn. Maybe because I had something to contribute to it musically. Sam was there, but we created a difference in the air, and I am not going to shy away from. Not at this point of age. I mean, otherwise, which band really gets called out in a semi-final of a structured program called Bandmates, and an established judges like Shilajit Da is saying, "Baba, তোরা এখন রিকোয়েস্ট পাচ্ছিস কম্পিটিশনে এসে করে জিতে গেলে পরে কি করবি?" And that I can never forget. We lost it. We were runners up, not even runners up. Maybe we were third judges' choice finalists or something like that. I have forgotten the accolade also because accolade don't drive me. Accolades have never driven. Had it been accolades driven me, then I would have been sitting beside Mantyn doing another PhD or MPhil or something like that. The fact that we created something unique, that's why we justified our band's name, Unix. And speak what you said now. What is the next plan in line? I think we need to create more unique thing. We need.
Right.
I mean, couple of years later, I have plans to shift to Calcutta permanently and get a proper setup rolling and once again
Mhm.
wash my stuffs and get back.
See,
The
I'll
Martin
just say
definitely
one
will
thing.
be there.
Right, I'll say one thing that nowadays, like just like take an example of this
Interrupt you, Rahi, one thing.
interview conversation podcast.
I might
Yeah,
have
yeah,
missed it.
I'm wrapping it. I'm wrapping it in the next 5 minutes.
Bhaiya,
That's
अच्छा,
fine.
Martin.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
what
I
I'll
know
do
these
is that
lines. I
I'll
know
do
these
one
lines
thing.
when we used to create recording in my home. Na, this was
So
around the time when Martin will.
no, no, I
Well,
understand. See, Mountain is also awake from 7. I'm also awake from 7. Like it's 1 almost right now. So I have, before letting you guys go, okay, we will obviously have a second running of this. I'm sure we'll do that. But we already are at 1 hour 42 minutes. So I will cap it up in the next 5 minutes since Mountain has to go, and maybe later we'll pick it up one on one whenever we have time. So I have specifically, as you guys know, that we are starting this new format of this virtual, thankfully, which is I'm very happy this is starting with you folks. I couldn't have asked for a better start, because this was in plans for a long time. So the theme of 2023 and or 2024, we are talking about a lot of productivity, regarding productivity, and I also wanted to kind of get your inputs regarding AI. So what we'll do is that I won't take long on this. uh, I want someone, so to do you guys have any productive routines? Do you guys believe in productivity? Anything, Debashish, Mantyn, any productive stuff that you guys do? Because see, your work is obviously productive, wo to hai, but personal productivity may, do you guys believe in that? Do you follow any kind of routines or not?
can you elaborate the question? I didn't get the spectrum.
As in, do you guys have routines, like any fixed routines, or any schedules that you guys follow? Uh, any kind of belief, or routine, to be very specific, routine, or you guys, how how efficient you are apart from your work life. I know you see you guys are efficient in your work life, else you guys wouldn't be doing what you are doing. But do you guys take your personal life, in your personal life, do you guys follow anything to stay on top of things? Do you guys do anything, like any, it can be
For me,
ritual, it
it
can
is
be religious too, it
randomness.
can be,
For me, it is
it's
randomness.
randomness.
For me,
Okay,
it always has been randomness. If I am not random, I can't do anything.
okay, it
Just
has
work
to
is
be
always random.
okay. So it would be like the chaos, in the chaos there would be
Chaos.
the
Let me put it
right.
in a very simple line. I mean, like, let's say it's 1 o'clock in the night. I know I have to call my family back in the morning at 7 o'clock. I know
Mhm.
tomorrow is a holiday shift. I have to go and come at the office at around 10 o'clock. I have to reach the office. So things which are
Oh, I
already
know that. Yeah.
scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know
Mm-hmm.
that. But this what is happening right now. Okay, this is randomness. If I don't explore this randomness every day, I will be highly
Hmm.
depressed. Because रूटीन वो तो चलता रहेगा. आपको खाना
Hmm.
खाना है, वॉशरूम जाना है, काम करना है, सैलरी डेट पे आ जाएगा, फिर वो ग्रोसरी
Hmm.
जाएगा, बच्चा का स्कूल, माँ का दवाई, वाइफ के लिए कुछ, अपने लिए कुछ, वो तो चलता रहेगा. बट व्हाट अबाउट योर ओन इनर सेल्फ? That is
Correct.
completely random. For me, it is random.
Okay. No, so that's
I
what so
might go for
routine
a
when
10 kilometer walk right now. I might go for a 10-kilometer walk right now. And then I might straight away go to office from that point, and I will experience something, and that is randomness for me, and that is how I find my sanity. If I don't get
okay.
that, no.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
For
I think that
me,
is a very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mountain, you were saying. Hmm?
for me, it's always sports. Outside
Sports.
of
Okay.
my work, and nowadays, though, how much music gets produced. I'm always still. We are all, I think, always still lying max to max 2010s or maybe 2005. Right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
with Creed, all of our music disappeared almost. But in general, still, for me, outside of, I mean, my work, as in, see, I don't keep it as my work. I don't work for anyone. I just work for myself. So outside of, that's the thing that I love to do, which is work. And I love my company because they pay me to do that. But that's I think of it that way. I don't work for anyone. They love me. They love me, so they pay me. I love them because they pay me for what I love to do,
Raju paisa le.
which is weird, right? Yeah. So that is there. But other than that, other than music and whatever I do, the thing that gives me driving all the time is sports. It's either me playing, not cricket. I have zero interest in cricket. I do watch the World Cup because everybody else is roaming around everywhere. I have nothing else to do, so I just go and sit there.
I thought he was buying a projector for his. So मैं सोचा इतना
Right.
he's like so
Not
much
my
big
home.
fan.
No.
No, yeah, I thought he had called me.
He's playing cricket rather than India. No. I'm not watching
I was like,
cricket now. I used to
wow,
watch
man,
cricket.
Mantyn is such a big cricket fan buying a project for World
I
Cup
was a
final.
massive cricket fan when I was a kid.
Hmm.
But if I look at the
Martin
current
used to be the wicketkeeper of the South Point school team, if I'm not wrong.
school team,
Yeah, you used to.
school team,
Okay.
you know, mad or what? They would never take me in school team. I was
Then I had wrong information.
South
The
Point
school has told me wrong information.
Shubhai, we should get on the podcast, man. Very sorry to say.
Shubham has become a smuggler of kangaroo. He's in Australia now. He smuggles kangaroos.
Okay, that can be a different podcast.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Feeling sleepy.
Yeah.
We'll take
Now,
it
but
offline.
thing is, in general, if you're attached to sports, what sports gives you is adrenaline, which other parts of your day doesn't give you. Your day-to-day work and everything, they'll never give you adrenaline. Sports can still give you that if you are following something. I like I said, I do follow cricket. It doesn't give me adrenaline because it, for me, beating Bangladesh is anybody's Bangladesh now. I don't consider any cricket team nowhere near to India. So what is the point of watching? There's no challenge. But other than that, football, massive. The sport that I follow most for the last 10 years or so is combat sports. Any kind.
Combat
Boxing,
sports, like mixed martial.
MMA, boxing,
Oh,
mostly boxing,
man.
but still MMA.
I
mean,
want
you-
to actually, like I want to get into that. I want to get into that. Like I
I've done a
play
lot of that.
those things
MMA.
on my Xbox, but I want to do it in real
Yeah.
life. But
You do that.
I don't know. we-
Pantera songs and go beat him up. He
That's
wants to get into that.
See, now the concern. No. Now the concern is for me is different. Is basically I'm very scared of touchwood. I've not hurt myself for the past 10. And I don't know. Like I've never been seriously injured ever. So now I'm very zen about it, very touchy about it. कि कोई मारेगा तो अभी तो it can be also.
If you have
So,
played
but
any sport in life properly in a proper place, like not not like within the home.
which reminds me, Mantyn, we should do that swimming thing. Abhi to it's winter aa gaya, but much now that it's we'll do it later. We had planned that those things.
See,
I was thinking later. we'll
if you have
do that.
played any sport in life,
Planning to learn swim.
No, I have we have here like ponds here. I've done like from this side to that side. I've just been out of touch. He had told me one day, we remember in that our group only, he had told that let's join swimming. I was most probably caught up with something at that point of time. We'll do it once summer comes. Okay, I will not. I will not. I have so many questions. I had sent you guys a questionnaire also. You guys know so many things could have been said. But for today's, we are almost 2 hours, like 1 hour 50 minutes here. Obviously, I'll maybe do a bit of editing because I wanted to keep it an hour, or else this can be itself 2 episodes of this. So you never know.
keep the good parts.
Let's see. It really depends on how this is going to get released. But I do want to on that note, I do want to thank you folks to kind of, you guys took out your time and joined, and I'm sure that we'll connect and we'll stay connected, and all the best for what you guys are doing right now in your respective professions.
Yes.
We'll surely connect.
From now,
And
we will be in
Yeah.
South India party.
okay. I do understand that. I understand. We have so many things. We have traveled together. We have played music
Yes, and
together. Yes.
we will send you abusive photos, and we will also then, because I do these things for profession, I will send the photo to the Rana,
Oh
and then
man.
we'll make it appear.
He's the omnipresent person here. Not present, but still
Correct.
omnipresent.
I will send.
He so he no no
No, no.
AI
We will
talking about AI. I had
no AI. We will create abusive photos. We will get them from somewhere. And normal abusive. Then we will
my
send it.
office workers.
No. See, I will send it to Rana, but we will make it appear as if it's coming from Rahi. We will send it, but as
Cyber
if
security, cyber act.
correct.
See,
Email
I'll tell
came
you
from
one thing.
Rahi.
The email came from right. I was, in my first
Rana doesn't
institution,
use smartphone. He used
But
those
imagine,
Nokia telephone.
he's
imagine eight.
minimalist. He's into productivity.
Yeah, but imagine 8 in the morning. He wakes up, mobile open, email from Rahi. He's like, wow, childhood friend, music partner, so many songs.
Abusing him right in the morning.
He opens email and abuse after abuse. English, Bangla, Hindi, Bhojpuri, dangerous. Uriya, dangerous abuse. And
Where is Uriya coming from?
Rahi suddenly send me an abusive email in multiple languages in 8 a.m. in the morning after 8 years. Why would he do that? That's what we would do.
Suspect me
This is
for
going to
that.
be the intro. This is going to be the intro. I'm going to keep this in intro before our episode.
Before you cap up, I have a question for all both of you.
Ha.
Can put it as an intro for the part 2 coming or whatever feels like.
Hmm.
In one line, without much thinking. Okay, answer this.
Hmm.
What exactly is music to you? Right.
Catharsis. Music is catharsis because, yeah.
What exactly is music to you? If you have to define music in one line, Mantyn, what you will say?
Friends,
Music is this. What? What is this?
company. Music was the biggest. It gave me the biggest company in the world, which is you guys.
Same here.
Very true.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was if it was not music, if it was something else, like I don't know.
I really don't know.
So I think that is a very good point, very good note that where we can end. The show has come to an end. Our episode official recording is showing 1 hour 53 minutes 41 seconds. So almost 2 hours we have covered. Editing mein kya rahega? Depends on my mood. Depends on how it has come. But I had a lot of fun. I think this is what it was a good. Just we could have just had some food or something together, and yeah. So again, thanks for both of you for joining in at the short notice. And we were planning this for a long time, and I'm sure that we will be getting more of this later also. Before we are leaving, I do want to ask you folks, please tell your IG or your Facebook IDs, whichever you are reachable through. I know Mantyn is in Instagram. What is your Instagram ID, Mantyn? If anyone wants to reach out to you. Huh?
We have no ID. I have
I
only
will-
voter card, Aadhaar card.
I will ping you on WhatsApp. I'll ping you.
Oh man. Okay, no issues. ठीक है, तो ping him on what? It's not for me. It's for the viewers who wants to reach out to. भाई मैं तो तू तेरा वो Instagram में मैं तो हूँ ही. Anyways, I wanted it to be appearing. Oh my goodness.
Instagram,
On your
WhatsApp, I'll send you.
yeah. Just send it, both of you folks, if you guys want your socials to be featured on.
Can you mimic Rahi? You generally do mimic Rahi. How? Can you
No. See, let's end this on a yeah. And before that, yeah, no issues. And before we kind of just one thing before we kind of leave, can we give a pose looking at the be in the middle, look at the camera once. I'll take a quick picture of us. Let's see. Debashish, can you move a bit left?
This go?
Huh. Mantyn, can you move a bit right? A bit right. Are तुम्हारा right.
Is dancing like
गोरा smile. ওটা কি স্মাইল ভাই?
He smile, Guru.
Great. Okay, so I have the pictures, and I'll extract. So yeah, that was it. That was our first virtual
Yeah.
episode from Future Sound Media, and this is the virtual is going to be, the next virtual is the next. We have been, throughout the world, we have been working like this, and we have adapted to this new thing, and I'm very happy. My close friends, my closest musicians came on this, and thank you so much once again, Debashish and Mantyn, for joining in. It was wonderful having you on Future Sound Media. We'll have you guys again back on some other episode. Uh, this was Future Sound Media virtual episode. Uh, Stay tuned. We'll come back for more. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Bye bye.